It's yet another day in the life of being a Chelsea fan, and what a day this one has turned out to be with all the headlines that have come through today. Of course, there were the Chelsea shirt numbers coming our way, then there was the terrible news of Christian Nkunku getting injured and pretty much missing the first, maybe half of the season. We'll be discussing some of that in this particular video. There is a potential new sponsor. Now that is some beautiful news. And of course, there are a couple of our youngsters that are going out or have gone out on loan. So yes, a day full of lots of headlines, and those are what we're going to be breaking down one by one on this particular video. My name is Desire Derek Ford Mugumisa. Thank you so much for joining us yet again. And well, I tell you, you have an option to follow me on Twitter, and that is at @dmugumisa, and that option is very important because as we grow over there, more conversations are had on that particular platform, and of course we get to understand each other a little bit. You get to, well, inform how I think too, among so many other things. But yes, my Instagram, my TikTok at @dmugumisa are also available for just that. Quick reminder, like, share, and of course subscribe to these particular channels so all these videos can keep coming your way. And how you ensure you don't miss out on any of the new ones is by clicking on that bell. How about we get into everything that we want to be talking about? First off, of course, the big news today, the shirt numbers. Today's the 8th, so yes, 4 days late. And it's only late because we are comparing it to last year, where these numbers were released on the 4th of August 2022. This time, the 8th of August, not too late because it also excites us a lot. So many players getting to leave the club, therefore so many numbers available. And then a couple of senior players or players who have been at the club changing shirt numbers, and some of those getting some really interesting ones. One such guy that got an interesting shirt number is Levi Colwill, and we had Ben Jacobs getting to report on that earlier today, coming out to say that Levi Colwill takes the number 26 shirt at Chelsea. When he had it at Huddersfield, he explained it was lesser known to John Terry and more because he was born on the 26th of February. It is probably a bit of both though. That is according to Ben Jacobs. Meanwhile, and that is something I want to get in a little bit later, that is the shirt number that Mihailo Mudryk has gotten to take on, and that is the number 10 shirt. We'll be discussing that. For now, let's talk Levi Colwill, number 26. Of course, it was one of the shirt numbers that many of us were sure about. Actually, in the video we put out yesterday, which I'm going to be putting right here, if you watch, I did mention a number 25 and a number 26. Explain the number 25, didn't get into the 26. This is exactly what I meant. It was always for Levi Colwill, and of course, he sparked a conversation on the timeline today where many of the fans actually were relating that to John Terry. Now, I went back to an Athletic article that I did see at the time, and that was when he had just joined Huddersfield and he'd received the shirt number 26, and he was referring to, that is of course Levi Colwill, referring to how many people were getting to talk to him about being the new John Terry. Of course, John Terry from the academy, for the longest time, he was the only guy that had come through from the Chelsea academy to play for the main team, grew to be the captain and one of the legends of the club. And of course, so many people were comparing him to that guy. He's a tall guy, he's a guy who can play with the ball quite comfortably on his feet and all those kinds of things. And you could see why he was being compared. Levi Colwill was also seeing some of these things, and in that Athletic article, of course, I'll just go through it quickly. By choosing to wear the same number at Huddersfield that Terry wore at Chelsea, it might appear to be a deliberate attempt to be likened to the former England captain, but Colwill explains, and I will quote him, "Everyone is saying it's because of John, but it's because that's the date of my birthday." Colwill was born on February the 26th, 2003. It was my number when I was growing up, even if I was playing a football game on PlayStation. When Huddersfield told me I was going to get the number 26 shirt, it was perfect. Obviously, all the Chelsea fans started comparing me to John Terry. Have I thought about changing it because of that? No. Now, of course, and I thought so. Many of us would have thought, hey, this kid is really arrogant and all of that. And that's exactly what this particular article does refer to. It's not overconfidence, it's not arrogance. After talking to him, as well as watching him play, he has all the hallmarks of a mature young man heading to the top. And the top is near for Levi Colwill now that he has that shirt number at Chelsea Football Club. Now that Chelsea have played tug of war with Brighton to ensure he stays at the club, we all are excited to see what happens with their Levi Colwill at Chelsea Football Club. Now let's get to the shirt numbers themselves, shall we? Because there is quite a bit that is interesting as far as this story is concerned. Now, Levi Colwill, of course, taking the number 26 shirt, but he is not the only one that has gotten himself a new shirt in this particular club. It is a couple of players, including Mihailo Mudryk, who has taken on the shirt number 10. Now, this is a guy who came in January to Chelsea Football Club. He struggled to just figure out what to do, you know, with the form and all of that. That wasn't coming through for him. And now you think, well, he's starting to pick up his form. He's made the decision to go and play the under-21s. He's picked up confidence, even in pre-season, scored a beautiful goal in there. I think it was against Brighton and Hove Albion, shown that he has great chemistry with Nicholas Jackson in there. And now, when you think everything is settling, he can keep his shot and you know, just keep going, he decides, you know what, it's the shot number 10 that I want. I've got to say, I love this kid's attitude. He's not going to be backing down anytime soon because some people are saying some things. He has stated, number 10, it's available, give it to me. I will own it now. Number 10, of course, comes with a lot of pressure. And one of the latest people to occupy that, forget Pulisic, is Eden Hazard. Can he live up to the billing? That's something we shall be watching out for. Another guy that has chosen a very interesting shirt number is Nicholas Jackson. Ever since he came to Chelsea, all he has sung praises for the legend Didier Drogba. Matter of fact, he's also come out to say that he would love to even be better than Drogba at Chelsea Football Club. Now, when Didier Drogba first arrived at Chelsea, guess what shirt number he was wearing? Number 15. Nicholas Jackson decides, that's the shirt number I will wear at Chelsea. Will he go to the number 11 like Didier Drogba went to it after a couple of seasons? Well, it is something that we shall wait to see. But here's Axel Disasi, shirt number 2, some of those that stand out. But very importantly, there is a guy in the midfield. He arrived, he looked good. He wore the shirt number 5 because that is what was available. He has chosen to go number 8, Enzo Fernandez. Well, he's already shown he's going to be a special talent. Will he be that special talent for Chelsea? That is quite something that we can get to look forward to. Now, I will ask you to head to the comment section and tell me which is the shirt number that was handed out today that surprised you. And also, which shirt number is that you were so angry that player picked up on? I have a feeling many of you will go shirt number 7, Sterling. But hey, I'm not going to bias you. Let me know in the comment section which shirt number excited you the most, which one did you find interesting, and which one disappointed you because you probably didn't want them to even get a shirt number, just like Romelu Lukaku, who has not picked up a shirt number. Of course, Hakim Ziyech also not getting a shirt number. It definitely is the communication you need to know that by the time the transfer window closes, there are a couple of players that the club hope will no longer be at the club. Of course, some because they need them sold, others because they are assured of getting loans away from the club. One such player that is not getting that loan, Andre Santos, shot number 20 for the season. I'm really excited to see what this young lad can get to do this year. Let's get to move on from that. More topics coming through. The next big tweet that we're going to be discussing is, and that is of course something that came through as well today. Not so beautiful. Actually, the downside to today, the news on that man Christopher Nkunku was Chelsea confirmed, but he has a knee injury which will rule him out for an extended period. He's undergone an operation and will begin a rehabilitation. Terrible news for an injury sustained, and this is the thing that pisses me off the most. On a poor pitch in Chicago, Chelsea fear Nkunku will miss at least 10 to 12 weeks. That is, of course, something that also came out through Ben Jacobs right there. 10 to 12 weeks on a very bad pitch. That, of course, was also the last fixture of the preseason. You can't even blame Mauricio Pochettino for playing the players he played because that was the last game in preseason. That is where he needed to see the combinations he was going to use in a game that was hardly a week away versus Liverpool. How are you going to blame the man? He definitely had to make a decision. He made it. He played close to the team you expect to be playing for Chelsea this coming Sunday, and that is what happened. And you know what pisses me off the more? is that we drew that game, and the penalty that should have been given when Nkunku went down wasn't even given. There's just so many things that piss you off. Of course, Nkunku is the man that we've been looking at and thinking there is something in here. He's very instinctive. He's going to be the X-factor player. That goal he scored against Wrexham, and some of the other things he managed to do, of course, rounding goalkeepers and all of that, that was something that brings something new to this squad, and now we won't have him for 10 to 12 weeks. Of course, a couple of decisions have already been made on a couple of players, but one decision that hadn't been made yet, and I saw that he got a shirt number, is a decision on Kanu Chukwuemeka. I do not think there's been a better opportunity. You know, with all bad things that happen, there is always that positive that comes with it. Kanu Chukwuemeka, this is your time. This is where you come through and be the player that we saw at Aston Villa before we acquired you, the player we saw in bits when you played for Chelsea last season, the player we saw quite a lot with everything but the goals. That was in a pre-season, your link-up play with Jackson and everyone in there, a couple of assists coming through for you, all of that coming together. I am actually excited to see what you can do at the number 10 position as our main guy there. So yes, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and that light can only be Kanu Chukwuemeka as we watch out to see what other business we get to do as a club. Of course, Michael Olise is another one that seems to be on the way in, asked about, because he can play on the right wing but also can play through the middle where you think Nkunku should have been playing. So yeah, we'll see how that one all goes, but whether we get Olise or not, I think Kanu Chukwuemeka might be the perfect replacement for us. More news coming through for us today as far as Chelsea is concerned is that finally, that there has been a bear shot for Chelsea could have something on there, and it's an interesting something. Ben Jacobs again coming through. Ben Jacobs has done some Chelsea news. We've got to credit him for that and give him a clap here. Big stuff happening for him, especially for a Leicester City fan. This is quite impressive, Ben. But let's get to look at this story. Infinite athlete. Infinite, I think infinite athlete, set to become the new Chelsea front of shirt sponsor. No club confirmation yet, as Chelsea still attempting to finalize everything ideally before that game versus Liverpool Football Club. Club always optimistic of securing a sponsor by August. That is something that we are looking at. Now, of course, he added a little explanation to this, and this is where it gets all interesting. Infinite Athlete was only founded this year following the merger of Tempus Ex Machina and Biocore. It aims to combine and connect sports data from all sources. Now in April, this is the thing, Chelsea agreed a 7-year partnership with Tempus Ex Machina to power innovative technology enhancement. So quite interesting, isn't it? Chelsea gets a deal, 7-year deal with a company that Todd Boehly speaks of as one that will enable them give even more value to Chelsea fans, and he's excited about that. And then a little bit later, we don't have a sponsor, and the merger of that club, of that company with another Biocore to just try and have as much information on sport and analytics and all of that is the one that becomes a Chelsea sponsor. We understand £50 million is what will be spoken of as far as this deal is concerned. That would make it one of the top sponsorships in the country. But of course, you also want to think that with how close to the season this deal is coming, it likely will be a short-term deal. But hey, I've got to say, it looks better than 3 on our jersey. Many Chelsea fans will remember that we didn't like 3 much, especially because when they came, we lost a game by conceding 3 goals. Do you remember that? It was quite absurd, wasn't it? And then, of course, we also remember them when the Roman Abramovich, Ukraine, Russia thing happened, how 3 were threatening to put their logo off of our shirt and all of that. We remember all of that. So, good riddance, 3. And, matter of fact, Infinite Athlete, from the mock-ups that we've seen, looks better than you would have looked on our jerseys. So, good riddance, all the best, and the business shouldn't collapse. The business shouldn't collapse. That's not what I meant. Anyways, moving on from that, let's look at our future, because hey, 3 is in the past. We're looking at what else could come our way, and we're going to be talking about some of our stars for the future. One of those is Gabriel Angelo. He has completed his loan move to Strasbourg. He looks happy. I saw a picture of that. He looks like, well, he just might have some fun. He looked really good in our preseason. That is definitely quite something that we have to take note of. And, well, if he's guaranteed minutes at Strasbourg, and I want to think that that is part of the reason as why he's being sent to a club like that, which is also our sister club, I think we have a special kid coming through in about 2 years, a world beater. That kid, he looked really good in preseason, and many of us, it is the only thing that we had gotten to look at. Well, more indication that we will have someone coming in on the right wing, Olise maybe, or are we going to go and hijack Kudus? Well, whatever comes through, we're all happy at Chelsea. Everything is going on so well, isn't it? Anyways, that's just one youngster. Another one that unfortunately didn't get enough playtime in this preseason, but one that we had hoped would now make the big step up is Lewis Hall, and we have an update on that this particular evening because, well, according to Fabrizio Romano, having given us an update on him 3 days ago, today came out to state Lewis Hall to Crystal Palace agreed last week and set to be completed this week between clubs. Here we go soon. Now, I really do hope that Lewis Hall is going to Crystal Palace first to play games, but very importantly, I really hope he gets those games and those minutes in the midfield where he believes he best plays, because this left wing back thing is how he broke into or got his opportunity in the senior Chelsea side. I am not so sure that is where we want to keep him playing, especially when the man sees himself as a midfielder. That technical skill to get out of little spaces and all of that, I think would benefit any team through the middle. So hopefully that is what we shall see of Lewis Hall. And by the time he gets back, which I believe and hope will be at the end of this current season, he will be ready for the main team in one way or the other. Please note, shot number 25 is still free. And I think it's because Caicedo is coming through. Or could it be shot number 4? Can we debate that? What would you rather? Shot number 4 for Caicedo, or will that be shot number 25? We all know he's coming, right? Have yourselves a great one. Thank you so much for being a part of this particular video. I remind you, subscribe to this video, hit that notification bell so you don't get to miss out on any of these particular videos. And every time you enjoy this and you come this far in a video, please, I think it's only fair that you copy that link and spread it far and wide so we can get to build our community even wider. Follow me on Twitter at @DMugumisa, and we shall keep those conversations going. The comment section, we have so much to talk about. Let's head there.